I always look so amazed when somebody makes it in.
Well, I'm totally amazed I've made it ever in, because I'm clueless about technology. But
No,
thank
you've
you.
done very well. So Paula, tell us where you are today.
Today I'm in Casa de Cielo. That's my home in New Mexico. It means house of the heavens. And I'm delighted I have a cup of gold tip tea from Sri Lanka to join you.
Yeah, let me show you. I'll show you my teacup. Let's say cheers with our cup of tea.
Cheers.
Good morning, Paula.
Top of the morning to you, sunshine.
Exactly. No, I am drinking something called Yun Chia Berry Oolong.
Oh, wonderful. I am drinking Sri Lankan gold tip tea.
Wow,
and
that's special.
They pick only the most tender of leaves when they're first coming, and they reserve them aside, and it's the smoothest, most exquisite tea in the world.
Very good. We expect nothing less from you, Paula. Now, Paula, you're known as the Queen of Colour, and there's definitely a reason for that. And I think we're going to be amazed by the rainbow you're going to bring out.
Oh, thank you. I thought I would start today if you're ready.
We're absolutely, we're ready.
Okay, so we'll start with
wow.
Harimau. I name my pieces. This is a Sumatran tiger. He's got very flirtatious peridot eyes.
And with pupils. Is that?
Yeah, yes, they're black diamonds. His nose is carved by the inimitable Glenn Layer out of Oregon opal. Glenn has patents on all of his cuts. He's a genius. And we've been collaborating for centuries, I said. I meant decades.
not quite centuries, Paula.
Anyway, so this is to bring awareness. The Sumatran tiger, there used to be 3 tigers in Indonesia and Sumatra area, and two of them are extinct. And Harimau, this Sumatran tiger is the only one left.
Wow.
So,
and Paula, do you mind just holding him in your hand for us, and while you tell us about your approach as to fine art jewels and your background as an artist and how that influences how you work?
Yes, here we go.
Here we go.
So here you see how vivid and animated this jewel is. That is very important to me as an artist. The eyes are so vivid and they look back at you. And even when you move this jewel, the eyes follow. And it's
really
just amazing. And so my process is I study the creatures first, both visually, but their spirit and what makes them roar, for lack of a better word. And I draw everything by hand, and then I do my stone map, and then I do the back, the gallery work. I hope that's in the frame.
Perfect. That's perfect, Paula. Yeah.
And then my father was a great scientist, so I have some of his DNA, so I have all these mechanisms. I like versatility in my jewelry. So that's a little bit about that. Did I answer the questions?
Beautifully, beautifully. And also the fact that you're, like any work of art, your jewels are all one-off pieces, aren't they?
Absolutely. My jewelry is my art. I paint with the colors of the earth. I am not a jeweler. I'm a painter, and I paint with the light of the earth. So,
fantastic.
I'm doing my endangered species because we need to preserve the ecosystem so that we can preserve our own humanity. And creatures great and small are so amazing. Now, this is my red wolf. Her name is Luna. She's a female red wolf. And so the nose is black jade, carved by Glenn Layer. And I didn't know this until I started studying the creatures, that their noses are as different as ours. No 2 noses are alike. It's quite interesting.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either. And I was just fascinated by it. And I thought, well, of course they are. So you see her profile, and the colors in this particular jewel are so amazing because they have different RI, refractive index, they have differing refractive indices, so that there's a symphony of light. So I love to work with the light of the earth, and I understand it. So my work synthesizes nature, art, and science always. I think I'm part my dad. My dad was so scientific. He invented an anti-rust agent before he got out of undergraduate school.
He invented what? Sorry, Paula?
He invented an anti-rust agent that they still use today before he even got out of undergraduate school.
Wow.
So he was very much a genius, but the simplest man you would ever meet, and very handsome. I did love my dad, but I think I inherited some of his gifts. Anyway, so here we have April. Can you see her?
Yeah, maybe if you take off the mount, because it's sort of blocking your face, and it's nice to see you talk, Paula.
Oh, thank you. I do love talking. I'm like a little magpie.
I'm very glad about that.
So you see, she has flirtatious emerald eyes, and she exists in upstate New York. They took her out of the confines of a zoo, and as soon as they gave her enough land and space and nature, she's had 5 baby calves. Wow. She's so prolific, and she's a reticulated giraffe, very endangered. The Rothschild as well, both in Africa, are a hairline away from extinction.
Wow. I like how she's got her neck is curling in such a suggestive way. She's shy, but she's having a good look.
Exactly. See, that's the animation I'm always looking for. I want to make the creatures alive to the human eye. And when
they certainly are.
Yes, and you know, all jewelry really should be animated. I think art should be as alive as if you're looking under the sea and you're really seeing the sea creature. Here's our cockatoo. This, I think she's fabulous. She's very, do you want me to take them off? I think Martin's saying maybe I should take them off.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. So, as I said, I always work with the eyes, and I pay close attention to them and see her pose. She's very alert, and she's looking right at you, Maria.
She certainly is.
She sees you. She likes you. She thinks you're really a good person. She knows how talented you are, and so do I. So
look at that, a cockatoo that flatters me.
Actually, you look a bit alike. You look related.
And I need my hair up.
Yeah, there you go. So we're moving into sea creatures now, and this is my betta fish. What do you think?
Just breathtakingly beautiful, Paula. Amazing.
See how fluid the movement again. That is very much my signature, and I think it empowers the ability to behold the beauty because it feels so tangibly alive to view it.
I mean, just moving through the water.
Right. You can imagine. And then look at the fins even on the back of the spool. And there you can see my findings where it can be a brooch or a pendant. Lots of times I have this, I call it my double clasp connector. I designed it and created it when I was like 25.
Can you see it from the side, Paula?
The side view, meaning this view?
Like that, like swimming through the water.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, a little bit higher up, a little bit higher. That, oh my goodness, like that, yeah. A bit higher.
Higher.
By the camera.
Oh, does higher mean lower?
The camera's right.
Oh, I see. See what my problem is? At least I can design jewelry because I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't. Because I don't know left from right because everything's the other way. I don't know. Look at Lelia. She is a beautiful blue ring octopus. So like I was saying earlier, I do study the creatures. And this creature is docile and gloriously beautiful and adorable to look at. And they are only 6 inches. So this is life size. They don't get larger. Yes, wow. I did that on purpose. And if you intimidate them by thinking they're so cute and wanting to pick them up, they can shoot one shot of their venom can kill 26 human beings at a go.
Oh my goodness.
So they're very, very, very dangerous in that way, but not if you behave yourself around them. And see the suction cups, they're made out of blue moonstone cabochons from Sri Lanka.
Incredible. And what detail.
Yes, you have to have it. The devil's not in the details, the angels are. I love the details. And again, you can see the back of the jewel. I think the back of the jewel should always be as important as the front. And I think that's very much, again, a signature of Crevoshay. Wow. Because I want to keep the ancient metal techniques alive. That's another thing on my watch with the endangered species. Mm-hmm. So it's quite important. Wow. We've got one more sea creature for you, the creature feature. Now, what is this, right? What is that? Well, it's a sea flower. It's a sea anemone. And these jewels take sometimes as long as 13 months to create from start to finish.
Wow. Incredible.
They're built in 3 or 4, sometimes 6 layers, depending on what I'm creating.
Can we see that again from the side, Paula, just as you showed us? Yeah, that. Yeah. Wow, you can really appreciate the architecture of that piece there.
Yeah, they're all architectural, and they're put together with a screw in the back. So you can take them apart also to repair them over the centuries if the neon apatite gets chipped. Now, what's in these are, right now, the center stone is an indicolite tourmaline. Then there are emerald caps around that. Yellow diamonds on the second layer. The third layer is peridot and, I forget, Savarite.
Okay, Savarite.
Isn't that
dazzling?
Glorious?
Just dazzling. It has that, you know, that shimmering that is as if you're seeing it through water. So you've captured that beautifully.
Thank you. I will do that again for you. Yes, that's so nice. See why I want to work with you? I love how you're so articulate visually. You are. You're fabulous, Maria. So we're moving into the floral kingdom. Can you see that one?
I can indeed. Spectacular.
And that's a neon apatite in the center, not Paraiba. Quite often, when I was very, very beginning and quite poor, I started my business with $6,000. I had worked an entire summer to make that money. And my father said, if you're going to go in business, you only need to know one thing. You never borrow a dime, and if you can't afford it to write a check for it, you can't afford it. You can't have it. So I did that. I've never had any debt. And so, but I had to build up from 6,000. Oh my God, just the gold alone. But I would always do what I call translation jewelry. So if I wanted a Paraiba, 20 carats, but I couldn't afford it, then I would translate it into neon apatite.
Okay.
Or if I wanted a sapphire and I couldn't afford it, it became an iolite. So gemology's always been my friend. It helps.
Fantastic. And you were telling me, Paula, that you would make a jewel, and with the profits of that, you would then make the next one, and then rung by rung.
Exactly. I still do. I do. Martin has to remind me, Paula, you can afford that. And George, my late George, who was the genius that took me all over the world and transformed me from a painter to a jeweler, he used to go to the dealers and say, she'll think she can't afford this, but if she wants it, just tell me later, put it aside, and I'll come and pick up the jewels.
What a nice man.
Isn't that interesting? I don't know why. I'm my father's daughter, like I said. So here's a crocus flower. And I'm getting ready to do things. I have so many projects. My Perot was postponed. The Shape of Matter, my next one-woman show at the Perot Museum. Hopefully we'll launch in late fall, hopefully. But anyway, I'm also working on a Audubon Society project that's coming in 2021. And I'm working with songbirds and the floral kingdom. And it's just a lot of fun. It's
interesting what you're saying, Paula, because your work has attracted not just collectors, but also museums. And you have this ability to create such lifelike renditions of flowers, plants, animals. So you've done that for museums, haven't you?
Yes, and it's just so much fun. One of the shows that you helped me with was Garden of Light, one of the earliest one-woman shows with 75 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And that explored the three kingdoms, the floral, the mineral, and the animal. And we put my flowers all together. I had about 7 or 10 different flowers translated from the floral kingdom into the mineral kingdom. And it was at Carnegie Museum of Natural History, and the entomologist came down. I said, I need insects. I need the pollinators for these flowers. I need the exact pollinator. And one had only one pollinator, which was one of my lady slippers. And the man from entomology was so thrilled. He came to me and the opening, and he had big eyes, but he had glasses the size of Coke bottles. And he said, I love what we're doing. We need to do just our work and fill the whole museum.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So that's a true story. So here's a brown-eyed Susan, and it has over 5-carat Montana sapphire in the center.
Okay, so now you can tell us about your interest in American gemstones as well.
Right. That's something that has warmed my heart forever, but mine location specifics have always interested me, even whether it's Sri Lanka, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Burma. But about 7 years ago, I started to focus on our mighty nation's incredible mineral deposits. And I started with the great state of Montana, and the sapphires, I mean, even since Louis Comfort Tiffany times, they have an extra sparkle. They look like diamonds in the sunlight. And it's mineralogical that happens from those stones. So
can we see that again, those Montana sapphires? And don't you have a piece at the Smithsonian that features Montana sapphires?
Oh, that's right. It's named after my mother, Conchita.
Oh, your mother's Conchita, okay.
Yeah, she wasn't Spanish at all. Her mother had read a book and loved this character, Conchita. And my mother's sister called the other day, and she said, who would name a Southern girl Conchita Bertrand? Who?
Oh, yeah.
Because, Southern girls were named that. My grandmother was very alive and eccentric and wonderful.
Alternative.
Yes, alternative. See that? I like your words. So here is Hello Dahlia. So this is a dahlia that has all those multiple layers of petals. The center stone is over 5.5 carat lavender spinel trillion from Madagascar.
And you were telling me, Paula, that lavender is the most unusual color in gemstones, isn't it?
Yes, throughout the kingdom. It is by far the rarest color in large and amazing gems.
Okay, can we see that again from the side, Paula? Sorry, because I know that this one has this incredible depth and detail to it.
Can I get that in there? Is that in?
Yeah, that's really good. And then just tilt it towards me. Yeah, wow. Incredible. I mean, how many layers of petals? How many petals are there in that, Paula? Do you remember?
Oh my God, I never counted.
Well, lots, let's say, lots.
Thousands of gems encrusted to make these pieces. Many times it's 1,000 gems or more to make these gorgeous, realistic, animated, lifelike flowers or creatures. And now we're going to move into my Shinhwa Surrey collection.
Okay.
Now I started that, I would say, 6 or 8 years ago. I can't remember. But the Shinhwa Surrey period, see, I know so much about art history because I have my master's degree in the fine arts. So I had to study, and I act like it was a chore. It wasn't. I adore studying history, and I adore art history. And so my work is also spiced with actual movements in history to tell that story, bring it forward, because it's so interesting how we change, that there's like 5 or 6 common denominators that have explosions in art. When the shipping came in, that's when we had tulipomania. And that's when we had etymology, is when Maria Sibylla Marian traveled the seas in the 1600s, and she actually documented metamorphosis for the first time and helped move all that forward. So I'm fascinated. So the
and all of this
Shinhwa
comes into your jewelry, Paula, which is amazing.
yes, you know, it tells stories on so many different levels. I'm a
Definitely.
storyteller, really. I'm a storyteller. So this, I put it on my head so you can have a good look on the third eye so you can see the scale. But isn't that glorious? It's my parrot fan. And can you see the two birds? I don't know because I'm not
A little bit back, maybe, Paula.
little back.
Yeah. There.
Anyway,
yeah, you can see the outline. Maybe, Paula, can you hold it against the back of your hand?
I'm not good at that. I've tried. I think my hand's an awkward size or something. Let me try it like that.
Or just like that. Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
See, I get mixed up and backwards. I can't do those things. I can design, but
Well, it's incredibly detailed. It's a Spanish fan, isn't it?
yes, it's based on a historical fan. And I just, the fan. Now let's talk about that. I don't know if you ever read the book Secret Fan.
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, it was a historical true story. I think Amy Tan wrote it, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And the women could not reveal their suffering in letters. So they wrote in the fans that they would exchange. It's this fascinating novel. And it really inspired me. And so I do fans. I'm wearing the pair of their carved jade with red spinel and savarite. And they're detachable, like all of my earrings have always been detachable since I started in my 20s. Because versatility is everything.
Absolutely.
I am practical. I do have that side. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the fan collections.
Great.
Here we have, and this is based on the Shinhwa Surrey beginning. And that happened when I went to Shanghai with Martin. And no, we didn't. We went to Beijing. I'm sorry, we went to Shanghai recently. But I had dreams. The day I arrived, I had dreams of these earrings. I wish I brought the image, but I'll send it to you. So I began this collection after being so inspired by the ancient city and the forbidden city and all of that. So those were jades, of course. And then this is, look at this. They call it red jade, but it's really orange. But isn't that beautiful? I've really never worked with the orange red jade.
Yeah, that's quite unusual. And then you've paired it with, is the orange stone, is that an orange sapphire or a fire opal?
In those, it's fire opal. And I have some that have sapphires. I've done all the colors in jade so far that I can. I have some lavender ones, black, white.
But, beautiful.
But this is a movement in my work that will continue throughout my lifetime because Asia has given me so much. All of Asia, India, oh my God, you know, so many of my pieces have been they've been manifest through the great, great, great cultures of Asia. And I've had
you lived in India for 4 years, didn't you, Paula?
Yes, and I've lived collectively in Asia for over 15 years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
It's in your blood.
It is. And George Crevoshay just immersed me because he was fluent in 7 Asian languages, 4 or 5 Western ones, and an accomplished composing musician who also studied Indian classical music in-depthly before he went into gemology. So I was hanging out with Morji Desai. I was hanging out with Pandit Jorlman. I mean, all the greats because of George, George the genius. Yeah.
Great.
Well, should we go into some? I have one more pair of earrings. This is vintage Crevoshay. So I did this. This was an earring that I designed about my 2nd year designing jewelry, but they went this way, and they were they dangled, in other words. But I've just changed them to be fans up the ear.
Beautiful.
And
That's lovely.
But see, I was always. Please go ahead.
Just tell me what the stones are there. Is that
red spinel from Burma? The major stone is, of course, boulder opal splits. They're matchbook splits, and they're gorgeous, and they're over 30 years old.
Wow.
Anyway, but you have the red spinel from Burma, lavender sapphire from Sri Lanka. You have some ruby. You have different melees, all of which George cut. George he was so prolific. I called him Rumpelstiltskin. He just, you know, he was really very naughty and very intelligent. And he said to me, oh no, you're not going to drive me crazy and ask me for every cut, shape, size, color, because I know you. I'm just going to do it all. And he did it all in a few years, and I'm still going through the collection. I can't use it up even in my lifetime. So I'll pass it forward to someone. But anyway, so I wanted to go to bracelets. I'm wearing my peridot bracelet. And as you know, peridot was Cleopatra's favorite, but they thought that it was emerald, I believe, and they had the great minds. And peridot is so beautiful. And then here's my caviar bracelet, which is all, can you see that, Maria?
I can see that perfectly, and I can see why you call it caviar.
Yes, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Just like the roe. So it's all Mexican opals, all the different colors, and they're all cut by George. These are some of the George legacy pieces. Whoops. Anyway, I wanted to show you.
Wow, so just so that for those who don't know, George was one of your master stone cutters.
Yes, well, George actually was my late husband, George Crevoshay.
Sorry, George. Okay,
Yeah, and so he was a genius. He really was. He was the one that was fluent in all those languages. But anyway, what I love about the sensuality of this piece, and again, it's that animation that I'm always going for. In this particular jewel, this took one stone setter over 2 months just to set the stones.
My goodness.
And look at the back galleries on each gem. They're all sewn together with gold. It's like a tapestry, or it's like a weaving or a textile. I'm not sure what word I'm looking for, but these are labors of love. And they're just
so fluid, yeah.
So fluid. They bring so much of goldsmithing, labors of love, antiquity back up to modern times.
Totally, and wearable. And this, I knew this was coming because I love this, and I love the story behind the stones as well.
Yes, so you can see the fringe is moving. This I call the fringe. The name of this piece is Moondance. I named it Moondance because it is dancing, and wow, can it shimmy. So these stones are all from Sri Lanka. On the lavender and purple, there's several shades of sapphire melly making the fringe. And then there are 7 types of opal within it, 5 types. I mean, I said opal. Martin's corrected. See, I get a little flighty. I get excited. And then I was thinking about my opal bracelet. So anyway, this is the moonstone bracelet. And it has silver flash moonstone, blue, peacock blue moonstone from Sri Lanka. It has rainbow moonstones and cat's eye moonstones.
Oh my, all of them.
Yeah, so in other words, it's telling the gemology. It's also telling mine location. And it's also bringing forth, I think, the incredible ancient art form of jewelry. It is the most sustainable. It is the most ancient. And I consider it fine art.
That's beautiful. And just the effect of it. I mean, it really does, when you hold it up, it does look like looking at the moonlight on water.
Shimmering over the water, yeah.
Well, it is incredible.
And it's really fun to wear.
And I don't think any artist could recreate that using paint or pencil or anything else.
No, you're right. It has to be alive with the light, the dance of the light. And then what else do we have, Martin? Oh, we have some rings, and I have my beautiful peridot necklace. I'll go up like that.
Yeah, we can't see the detail, but I can definitely see the color.
Yeah, and the peridots are delicious. I mean, there are gumdrops. And then I have ancient beads with granulation, like they make in Bali.
Oh, that's what they are.
Yes.
And you've got a peridot ring as well, I believe. Is that right?
Actually, on this hand, it is a beautiful tourmaline. It's not chrome. It is green. And then on this hand is another tourmaline. And this has demantoid garnet, north, south, east, and west trillion cuts. So it's 3 shades of green. There are demantoids. There's the 3 shades of green light. And, you know, they have different RIs, again, which I like to play with that light. And I was going to show you, I'll show you a few more rings because we haven't really discussed rings. So rings are for every finger, is what I always say. Is that showing well?
Yeah, maybe you could be a little bit closer and even sideways as well. Is that, we're looking at a water opal here, is that right, Paula?
Yeah, this is a crystal opal.
Oh, crystal, okay. And where's it from, do you know?
It's from, yes, I do know. It's from Australia. This crystal opal is from Australia. And then the zircons, there's zircon and, oh, I've got to put on the glasses now. Hold on. I have to have the glasses. This is zircon, blue zircon, also yellow sapphire. It's picking up the, what I've always done is I pick up the colors within the stone.
Absolutely, and, yeah.
You know, I just thought I had a sensitivity to color, but I learned that I have all cones operating and in my eyes.
In your eyes, okay.
I see color within color within color. People who have this are only women. And when the women have it from the mother, the brothers are usually colorblind, which all of my brothers
say only men are ever colorblind, right?
I guess so.
I think so. Just men. But there you are. There's a scientific fact to be questioned.
Right. But you know,
it used to be that all mammals had 4 cones, and now we have 2.
Oh.
You got to get back to your hunting.
Right. Yeah. So now, now those of us that have 4, the women.
Thanks, Martin. He is my Google. He is he reads all the time. This is great.
Shall we say hello to Martin? Because not just be a voice in the background.
Okay, here he comes. He's running around. He's getting here.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Martin. Nice to see you. Because you're usually behind the scenes, aren't you?
It's a good place. And she's such a bright, shining light. Why would I want to put myself forward?
Fantastic. Very nice to see you, Martin. Thank you for helping with all of this.
Oh, he's been instrumental, as you know. I was going to tell you a little bit. Let's see.
So we actually have got time for one more piece, Paula.
Oh, should it be this one?
Yes, that one, because it's got a beautiful story, this one.
Oh, it really does. All right, so if you see, it's based on the motion of the sea, waves in the sea. It's, the sea has a way of self-cleansing from the bottom up. And so I wanted to create that movement and that feeling in this jewel. The pearls are from a sustainable pearl farm in the South Seas. No treatment has come to these pearls. And this jewel is going to help support cleaning our oceans. And it's a project that got put on hold, unfortunately. And it's going to be presented at the United Nations when the time comes. And it's about 20 designers or more that are
fantastic. Well, that's beautiful. That, I mean, just looking at that, I feel like I'm in motion on the sea. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Paula, we have run out of time, but wonderful.
Thank you, Maria.
What a color immersion you've taken us into it from New Mexico.
Yes, I can't wait to host you. So please come and see us.
Absolutely. Well, when everything gets back to normal, hopefully we'll all be able to get back together in person and enjoy and share our passion for design, gemstones, art, and everything else in between.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Paula. Absolutely lovely. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.